In Maple Town, life is always sweet. So when it was announced that the town was holding its first ever giant cupcake contest, everyone was excited to participate. For the contest, the baker had created an extra large cupcake, almost 3 feet tall, and placed it in front of the bakery for everyone to decorate. Mayor Mildred was up first, and she started piping frosting onto the cupcake. She made it swirl all the way up to the top, and then added a little cherry on top. It looked so good. Everyone in line to decorate the cupcake was very nervous to follow Mayor Mildred's footsteps. Then it was Farmer Giles' turn. He took a deep breath and started making his masterpiece. He made the frosting swirl around like a big green snake and then plopped a single almond on top. It was very unique, but would it be a crowd favorite? Next was Benny the bear. He was very artistic and loved to draw, so he turned his cupcake into a beautiful purple mountain range with little clouds here and there. And last but not least was Freddy the fox. He wanted to win the prize, so he put all of his energy into making his cupcake look amazing. He made the frosting swirl like a big red rose and even added some chocolate chips to look like rose petals. All 4 cupcakes were done and everyone clapped. Now it was time for the judges to pick their favorite. They went around, looking at each cupcake very closely, trying to decide. Finally, they announced that Benny the bear won. Everyone was surprised because Benny was not known for being very competitive. He was just happy that everyone liked his art. As the day went on, more and more people came into Maple Town to check out the giant cupcake. Soon there was a huge line of eager customers who all wanted to try a piece. The baker was very happy. This was the best day ever. He could not stop smiling. But then suddenly, right in the middle of serving, the light started to flicker. Next thing anyone knew, the cupcake started to shake violently. "Uh-oh," said the baker. "I think that cupcake is about to explode." Sure enough, the cupcake grew bigger and bigger until, boom, it burst open. Everyone screamed as sweet batter squirted everywhere. "It's alive!" cried the baker, watching in horror as the batter formed itself into a big, angry monster. The monster stomped his foot and roared. Everyone ran away, except for Mart and Emma. "We have to do something," said Emma, watching as the cupcake monster approached. "If he keeps stomping his foot, the whole bakery will crumble." An idea popped into Mart's head. "Quick, Emma, get the mayor's megaphone." Moments before the cupcake monster stomped on the bakery, Mart stood on top of the counter and yelled into the megaphone as loud as he could, "Hey, monster, over here." The monster stopped and turned his big, gooey eyes toward Mart. "Ho, a brave little squirrel," said the monster. "You may be small, but I'll make you into a delicious topping." The monster took a step toward Mart. That was it. Mart had to do something quick. He grabbed a handful of flour and threw it in the monster's face. The monster roared in anger and surprise. Then he started to shake his body violently, trying to get the flour out of his eyes. "Now's our chance," said Emma. She grabbed the fire extinguisher and aimed it at the monster. "Get ready, monster, 'cause here comes the cavalry." Just then, all of the townspeople came running back with pots and pans and other kitchen utensils. They all bravely started whacking the monster, making him yelp. But no matter how hard they hit him, the monster kept coming back for more. Finally, Mart had an idea. He grabbed a whisk and started flicking batter off of it toward the monster. The monster tried to dodge the flying batter, but it was no use. Soon, he was covered from head to toe. I'm stuck," cried the monster. "Help me." Everyone stopped and stared at the monster. No one had the heart to let a giant cupcake monster get stuck in a sticky situation. So they all worked together and started licking the batter off of him. Once he was free, the monster looked down at himself and sighed. He didn't feel so angry anymore. He felt kind of tired. Can I stay for the rest of the festival?" he asked. Everyone smiled and nodded. The baker even gave him a chef's hat and let him help serve the remaining cupcakes. And from that day on, the cupcake monster became a part of Maple Town. He even entered next year's giant cupcake contest and won first place. The moral of the story: don't judge a monster by his batter.